Oh, fuck me. The
We
wind's going to
can't
interfere
open
with
that.
the audio.
We can't open that because people are going to be there.
Everyone be quiet and listen, see it, and look at the thing. You can see the wind waves.
You see the wind waves.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
can we start?
Everyone shut the fuck up.
Let's go for it.
Hello, and welcome back to the Fifth Unit podcast. This is the second one. Today with me we have
Marcus,
Chris,
Finn,
and Dennis Rapson.
Cool. For those who don't know, I don't think we really mentioned it in the last one. Dennis is an OG Fifth Unit member out here from like back before like the rebirth shit. Back when like Marcus was like just filming really bad videos.
They're getting more likes then than we are now.
Yeah, I mean they were really good to be fair. Dennis features in my favourite video called "Go Quicker You Mug," and you should definitely watch that because Marcus Crane's the world's smallest jump. But anyway. Today we're going to cover a range of things. I thought I'd start off with something cool. Well, I say it's cool because it's fucking cool to me. Someone who we train with, his like little brother's mate, who like also does like a bit of training and stuff, and like comes to some of like our coaching sessions. He like messaged me on Insta just saying that he watched like the whole podcast, and that he really was like interested in how we like stay motivated and how we like progress from that like beginner level to like the level we're at now. I wouldn't say that we're amazingly good, but we're pretty good. Right. But he seems to think we're really good, which is really fucking cool. And he just was interested in how we like stay motivated and get on our shit. So, Finn, how do you stay motivated to train with Wabby?
I don't. Sometimes it is like I find it sometimes really hard to stay motivated to train. So I do have days where it's like nah, but I think it's more often than not it's like when you're going out for a walk and people are like, oh, I can't believe let's go for a walk because it's boring or like you're tired or whatever, but then you get out and then you do train. So if I can push through that,
golden.
yeah, that was really bad.
You're out here training.
No, I hear what you're saying though.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, some people like, I wouldn't say I'm like a special case, but I was saying to Marcus earlier, I think.
You are.
I just like.
You are a special case.
I appreciate that. I just like never am not motivated. I don't know. I like love the sport an absurd amount to the point where it's like I wake up and I'm like I want to go training, and so I just go training pretty much every day. If I don't, it's like only because I have other obligations. As long as I have nothing to do, I'll just go training.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, because I have other obligations. We've been through this, and so I don't know. Like I've had people say, "Oh, I just don't feel like training today," whereas I've never really had that feeling. I've always just been like, "I want to go training now," because I just want to do it. And then if I'll have days where I like feel less. I'll be like, "Oh, I don't need to go training today." But then if I like go out, I'll be like, "Right, I'm training." I'll just get like back on it and be like ready to go. If that makes sense at all.
It's hard. It is like I've always said I don't think you should be 100% all of your time on parkour or anything. I think it's quite unhealthy because
shit.
Yeah, well, because like when you injure yourself,
fuck.
Yeah. Well, because when you injure
That's
yourself,
true.
when you injure yourself, you get in
fucked
such
when
a
I'm
hole
injured.
because you can't do anything. Whereas
Yeah.
like if you film or if you create other things or if you do more the photography side of it or the editing side of it or whatever, you're still within parkour, but you can do. You're doing other things. So the days where you're not motivated to train, you go out with the motivation to take photos. Like you have before, like when you've been injured, you've been like, oh, I'll go out and take a few photos of the guys, and then eventually you start training, like even if it's a small thing. But I find for me at least, that's what I'll do. If I'm really not motivated or like I'm having a day where I'm just like, oh, being a bit lazy or I'm injured or whatever, I'll try to come out sometimes and be like, oh, I just filmed something. Evidently I don't film anything because I get there and within the first 10 minutes I'm like, yeah, let's go training, this is fun. But I think it's quite hard to... I think it's a bad idea to just entirely invest in one thing. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket. When you fuck up like that, you're like getting a hole.
Oh no, what? No, I know what you mean. I like when I like getting... when I'm like injured, I'd say like I'm even more motivated to train. And I like, because of the... But I do have like the other side like things, like I like taking photos, I like like making like the little edits and shit. But that all like is rooted in the parkour thing. I think.
Yeah.
In fairness, a lot of the photos I take aren't really parkour based, but they're like they're always like it was all originally like I like taking photos of people jumping on shit, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I definitely have this. I like ride motivation on not just parkour but other stuff. Like I feel like I have a lot of stuff going on, and whatever I'm invested in at the time, I have a bad habit of kind of forgetting everything else. So if I'm like really into, I mean, for example, if I'm really into training, if it's been sunny for a week, been training loads, I'll forget about like work stuff, but I really have to be like in the mindset. And I was having a conversation with someone recently, and I was saying if I almost have to make an effort to be in the right mindset for what I've got to do that day or the next day or whatever. So if I've got like a shoot or something the next day, I'll watch like a really sick film. So I'm just excited about that.
Really?
Or if I'm training, I'll watch parkour videos before I go to bed. So I'm like excited about that, and I wake up and I'm kind of in that. Yeah, and that just really works for me. And I don't know if that's something, but because I feel like sometimes I'm spread between so much stuff, and I'm like, yeah, got like, I don't know. Yeah, we'd have to like make a conscious effort to be like, this is what I'm like loving at the moment, or whatever. But I don't know. It's probably good and bad. But
that's cool though. I didn't know that you could do it. Like you prep
like,
the night before for like your training or like work or whatever.
Almost artificial motivation.
Because it's bad. Like if I'm working, if I've got to shoot, and all I'm thinking about is, man, I wish I was at like this spot or whatever. It's just shit, and then I don't do well, and it just fucks me up. But if I'm like excited about whatever I'm doing, but I do have to make like a real effort to actually kind of get there. It's not something that just like happens.
Yeah.
But parkour is definitely the easiest one because I mean,
it's pretty fun.
You do like one jump and you're just like, fuck.
I know, you're in.
That's what it's like whenever you go out. I do put it down to you go out and you're like, I can't be asked to train, but then you go out and then you're like, this is really sick. Like I've gone out training but not supposed to train because I'm injured, and they're like, yeah, but I could maybe do this jump, and you're like, probably shouldn't, but I did it, and you're like, but maybe I can do this, and it just snowballs.
It's like we went out like when you did the thing for a video that we can't say at a place. It involves a flip, and then when you did that, and then that day I wasn't supposed to be training. I was like, I won't train at all, and I'm just like there training, like doing everything. I was going to do like a Rudy, and then we got kicked before we got kicked off.
Yeah,
it's definitely. So then, I mean, I think this leads into that quite nicely. I was gonna add that it's partly like who you're with. I mean, if you're just with mates and everyone's like excited and like loving the same stuff, then you're just gonna you'll just fall into that. And I think just being around the right people, training with the right people, is like that's a huge thing for motivation. Yeah. But then also what you just made me think of was, say Finn does something sick like on that day, everyone's gassed. Everyone, you know what I mean? Like everyone's just like riding that thing. So I think if you're part of a team, and I don't know, not everyone can be part. I guess there's people that like live in just the fucking middle of nowhere and have no access to like any. I don't know. But if you're able to just have a team or just a group of mates that you train with, that is going to help with motivation tenfold.
Bang.
A lot of the time, I think as well is if you have a goal that like making an edit or we need to go out and shoot photos, it becomes almost a bit more of a chore to begin with. But then you're like, okay, we've got this edit that we're trying to do. We need to go out and get these clips. We need to do it like it's sunny. Weather's been weird recently, so it's like today's sunny. Let's go. And then that day, I was like, well, I'm here. Like I wasn't very motivated to do it that day. I was like, oh, look at it, and then do it. But then it came to it, and I was like, it's sunny. It's nice. We want to get the clips, which isn't a reason that you should do anything, but I don't think you should do it for the clips. So I was like, I can do it today. I just got to push past that like little motivation thing. I've got to like commit to it. I was like, okay, today was the day. Let's just do it. Let's commit to it. So I think it is good as well if you've got goals, or if you've got like an edit coming up, or you want to do this, or if you've got a goal of like, I want to do this by the end of the month. I want to learn how to Rudy by the end of the month, and you're quite confident, and then like use that as a goal to motivate yourself when you're out there to just start and then do. I think that's quite a good way of doing it. as shown by his little goal list.
You haven't ticked anything off because he's really bad.
I have like hidden lists all around. There's like a couple lists like behind the like sheet. They're just like honestly, I'll show you.
I've seen a few of those. You've like sneakily whipped one out.
Yeah, I'll show you later. I've just got lists like hidden around like that. That's for me as well. It's that goal setting, and it's not just in parkour. It's in everything. Like I just find that just helps me so much. It's like, and I'll try and not for parkour stuff, but the night before I write it all down so I just know I'm set for the next day. This is what I need to do.
Challenge lists.
Yeah, that's it. And
fully challenge lists.
So many people you see on Instagram have them.
I've got mine on my little notes page. I've got a challenge list.
Harvey's got one on his wall.
Yeah,
like, it's sick. Yeah, I really like
mine's
that.
in my head.
Yeah,
but mine are quite quick though. I don't know. I feel like I'm like.
But it's like physically satisfying.
I feel like a lot like your challenge list is like a long turnaround. Like it's like taking a while. But I feel
that
like mine. Well, yeah, that sort of one, and then also like I don't know. All mine are just like, oh, I want to do this, and then I've like done it in the next week, and it's just kind of like it's like quite repetitive. So I don't need to like write it down because I'm just gonna remember anyway because it's like the next thing I'm doing. The only like other couple ones I have are just like more like life goals, and then even then I just like I'll like if I go to that place, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do that today, or like I'll give that a go today.
We've got one for a front pre-Rudy out. That's like a long-term one, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's actually coming close, so I'm not very.
Yeah, but you came out with that like 4 months ago. So
yeah,
you still haven't.
But I think I'll do that by the end of this year.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my mind you could do it by like the end of next week.
Yes, not yesterday. The other day that like flip out, that was so easily controlled.
Yeah.
But if I just have that height difference, I was like, bang.
Yeah.
What else was Jamie's mate talking about? Other than motivation, there was something else he said.
I'm not really totally sure. I was just like, I'll get it up because I'm on my phone.
Wasn't it how to?
While he gets it up, I'd say like I'm on the other end of the spectrum on like goal setting and stuff like that. When I was doing like free running, that I don't set any goals and I don't like go out with the intention to do like anything like in particular.
Yeah.
So if you're like focused on one thing so much, then you kind of get caught up in that one thing.
Yeah.
And you miss a lot of other like shit. Like it might be something really cool you could do, but you're so focused on doing like a fucking big old standing pre that you fucking miss it. And like also, I think if you're like, I think it's probably good for like young people like just to not bring a camera out sometimes and just like have fun, because filming it's like good at the end of the day, that's like a finished like product and it's good fun, but actually just not bringing a camera out and just like having fun like with mates and socialising instead of just filming. That's more fun for me. It's
very easy to fall into that trap of, I think you said it not too long ago, when people were out training you felt like a bit weird because I think you were with Eric and Joe and they didn't film anything, and you were saying it was like it felt a bit weird like asking to get the camera because they were out like socialising.
I just felt like a prick, so I'm just going to film this thing like
but
that's it.
It is like you got to have fun while doing it and not like focus on one thing too much, otherwise it does become too much of a chore. So I think it's good to have goals, but I think it is easy. Like I thankfully don't have that to potentially a fault where like I'll do a goal and that'll be the only thing I focus on. I'm quite easy to be like, oh, I'll come back another time. But I think it's dangerous.
Just don't get too stressed out by it, because at the end of the day it's just like free running.
Just jumping on walls.
There's a lot of days you can
Dennis.
Some of us get very frustrated.
Chris, I remember Chris throwing his shoe at a wall one
I've definitely done that
I
before.
almost fucking died laughing, but I was like, quite angry actually.
You should definitely laugh. It would be fun. It would definitely be really funny.
I was thinking about that in the car actually when we were driving home earlier. You were saying how it's good to like not film stuff, and I was thinking back before Instagram like took off, people would, or like me and Adam would go out training, and filming wasn't even a thing unless it was going in a video. So almost the word training, when we say we'd go out training and everyone's like, what are you training for? You know, all that shit. I guess that's kind of what it is. You're training for the product. The end was the video. That's why we went training. But now training doesn't really mean anything, does it? No one. It's just what we say.
I'm training to be better.
But at least then there was like a little bit of a kind of.
It's also really wet to say like, I'm going out to go parkour.
Yeah.
I prefer to
that's
say training sounds
Uh,
better than like I'm going to
yeah.
go free run.
Yeah,
That's
it's definitely it's the best way to say
It
it.
might have been the best sentence in the world there. I'm going out to do parkour.
Go parkour.
Coolest
That's
thing
go-
in the
I'm gonna
world.
go parkour.
Seriously bad word to use. Go
Yeah.
parkour.
Go parkour.
Hi, I'm a tracer. I'm going
I
to
don't
go
think
do the
I don't
parkour.
think that's good grammar either.
That could be a really good like kids event. Go parkour.
Parkour go.
Jump parkour.
Coming to a leisure centre near you. Go parkour.
Watch
Write
out,
that down.
kids. Inbound.
The other thing he was saying was it was getting from that initial, or was like something about getting better.
Well, it was like. So he said the three things he said was, one was like the motivation, the second one was how we found parkour, which is like, there's a classic question. I just find it a bit cringy.
yeah,
But the answer is always I saw it on YouTube / I saw a video.
Jump London.
Jump London, or in my case,
No, mine wasn't
saw it
that.
on YouTube.
Mine wasn't that. It was my mate, Josh Knight.
Yeah, who saw it on YouTube and then told you.
No, he went to a club. The way he started wasn't YouTube. He just like went to a club for the first time, and then I saw Dennis jumping off of height stuff.
I was there too.
Yeah, but that's
Leave
how
me out.
my friend was like. Josh was running around the park, and he was going like, "This is parkour," and I was like, "Parkour's wet. You're wet. Stop." Like
You're wrong.
Now
classically,
look at us talking about
Yeah.
parkour.
Yeah,
for an
like-
hour.
You fucking wet.
classically
That's all you've got
bullied
now, isn't it?
bullied
You
him for
fucking
doing
loser.
parkour, and then he was like, "Yeah, but
the
swing on
coolest
this,"
thing in the world.
and then then started in the club.
Yeah, fair play. I also went to that club later on.
Yeah.
So
But I guess now that there's gyms popping up everywhere and it's like it's creeping into schools, people are gonna be exposed to it in different ways.
Mm.
yeah,
But like
Yeah.
whole
cool.
different ball game.
yeah, which is sick, which is why everyone's so class.
I
now.
just used to type in parkour on YouTube, then watch like shitty David Bell videos, and that's why
Yeah.
you jump off high shit because that's what we did.
What did we watch when we started?
I remember
Some
seeing
Russian.
a video of Eric doing a fat gainer roof gap onto crash mats. I remember that. And it was
like-
all like epic
Yeah.
parkour shit.
It was,
That,
it was
like,
the
Russian
Russian
video. Yeah,
videos.
and
it was
what's
all
the-
Russians.
Out of time. Remember that video?
Yeah,
It's like triple
and-
Kong over those 3 pipes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
Oleg, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oleg Vorslav, which
Yeah,
a video that still holds up, which is insane.
Yeah,
Like 10
Insane.
years ago.
Well, that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah. Oh.
That's such a good topic. But something I was just gonna, what was I gonna say? Fuck. It was like, so how we found parkour. We just watch YouTube videos. That's what most people do. Different sort of thing now. People go to classes and shit. But growing to the level we are now, something I was just gonna like point out. I wouldn't say like realize you're like when you get good. I just remember being like not good, and like now I'm at this level where like someone who has started or like has only been doing it for like 3 years is not as good as me. You know what I mean? And so like now it's like the
I remember
difference.
you not being good. Just
I also remember me not being good as well. But like what I'm saying is that like I don't remember the in between. Like it was all just grafting. Like what I say grafting, it's really gay. But it was all just like going out training like all the time and like doing whatever I could. But now I'm at this level where I'm just like kind of okay.
It's when
And
you
there's
come
a
back.
difference.
It's when you come back to old challenges. It's my favourite thing to
Oh,
do.
Yeah.
It's when you come back to an old challenge and you're like, this used to be really hard, and you do it and you're like, how the hell did this happen? Like suddenly this standing pre is not a challenge, or like you do even something like as simple as climb ups. I really like that because you can like see the progression, but then you're like, you don't think about it, and then you look at your first climb up in comparison to a climb up you're doing now, and you're like, this just happened. It almost like you can't remember doing that grafting. It's just like you're just out training and you did it enough, and then one day you could do this thing like really well, and you're
That's like you growing
what?
a beard. I
Yeah.
don't remember
Yeah.
you growing a beard,
Yeah.
but now you've got a beard.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that parkour's
Yeah.
growing a beard.
But don't take that as we didn't put any work in. We all train like all the fucking time, and that's why we like get better.
literally.
Just putting the hours.
But on that note, we literally went to like a spot in Leatherhead that I like went to like 4 years ago. Nah,
Is it Silver
more
Ball?
than that. And like a bit around the corner from that. And there was like this running. Well, back in the day, what was a running cat? And I was like, oh yeah, that's a running cat. And they're like we went there, and it's a really small running pre. It's like not hard at all, and it's just like
It's so cool.
it's just
though.
so weird.
Do you remember a moment when? Because it's 2 bits, isn't it? There's physically getting better, which just comes with, well,
consistent
getting
training.
bigger, you get stronger, I mean, depending on how early you started, you get bigger, you get stronger, your jump gets bigger naturally. Then if you're going to like, I mean, pretty much all of us are now on going to the gym on some sort of program, so that's going to improve that. But then I feel like the mental one, there's like a click at some point. I think when it's just like fuck. I mean, I don't remember like a stage from. I find it so hard talking about like my own ability, but like I don't remember a stage from being like shit to like being like capable of doing stuff. But I do remember, and I experience this quite a lot, and it's in summers. When at some point during the summer there'll just be a bit when suddenly I just feel like I'm like, it's so hard to explain, but everything just works.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'll pull into a climb up, perfect snap, pop, everything just like, it's just seamless.
Do you mean like
and
in
it's
a
so
confident,
rare.
in a confident where you're like confident that you'll be able to do everything, or do you mean like
but
in a
also it
physical
just
way?
flows, man. Like it just goes.
I'm
There's
quite
no like.
confused as to what you mean.
Yeah, I'm explaining this so bad, but I just remember being in Eindhoven after For the Love of Movement, and it's like you've been training for like 4 days or whatever, and you don't fatigue because you're so used to like constant training, and it's just
that is the nicest feeling in the world.
And because you're training so right, but I think it works mentally as well because you're training so much, you don't like. I don't know. Everything just works, and I can feel it. I can feel this moment when it's just like, fuck, man, this is like.
It's
every session's a good session.
This is a sick moment. It's like this is sick. You sit there,
Yeah.
like when like the first Fortlom that I went to. Do you remember? I was trashed after the first day, and I just didn't train for like 2 days. Do you remember that? I was gutted. I wasn't in the video because I just didn't train.
That's familiar though.
Yeah, thank you.
You bring that up more than anyone.
Yeah, I did. But I wasn't in that video because I was like absolutely trashed. And then we went back to Fortlom the year later, and I was like training like for the whole thing. I didn't feel fatigued, and the Fortlom just passed. Fortlom winter just passed because isn't this like the third one we went to? Or was that the second?
So we went to summer, then we went to winter, then we went to summer, then we went to winter.
So this is the second winter. So okay, so year before last I was trashed. This year I was able to train like for the whole 3 days and just do some challenges that I'm really happy with.
Yeah,
So it was that, and I sat there at the end of the event being like, this is sick. I've obviously progressed because I'm not tired, and like mentally I've looked at these challenges which a year ago, like 6 months ago, I wouldn't have even thought of doing, and I was looking at some things like, had I been given more time, would have probably completed the challenges, but we had to run off or do something, or like we went down to the beach, but there was like a running pre there which is like, I think this is a thing now. Like I would have looked at that and been like, whoa, that's nowhere near, that's too big. But then this summer I was like, yeah, no, this is doable. And it happened at Red Hill the other day, doing a standing pre.
Yes.
Like looking back at that, Harvey did that massive standing pre and EXO, and then fronted out and then stuck it in the last one, and then that was like, whoa, this is massive. And then last week, the week before, I went there and I was like, no, this is a thing, and within 15 minutes I was able to like fully commit to it. And that
what
was,
would you put that down to though? That's the cool bit.
I put that down to like going to the gym and training more, because I was like more confident in my ability to bail. So like I could catch myself into a cat, or like if I fall, I've got like that muscle padding.
Can't really bail standing prees, you just bounce them.
Exactly.
Just put it out there.
Did we just watch Mark Coleman do a horrible bail?
Yeah,
it's so shit. It's not him. No, it was him.
In fairness, he didn't bounce it. He overshot and hit a wall, so it was really funny.
That was disgusting.
Slid on one foot. It looked really good.
If it's not Mark Coleman, I'm so sorry.
Whoever it was, that was fucking funny as fuck.
Yeah, so it's down to that, and it's also mental challenges. Like I've been really enjoying breaking challenges recently, and I'll spend a long time on one challenge. Like, you know how long I'll spend looking at something and then finally do it. I used to say I trained alone in the
You
group.
have a very interesting way of breaking down challenges.
Which I think now, because I've also built up, like it's how Callum described it, wasn't it? Like the physical circle and the mental circle, they need to go pairing. But my mental circle was bigger than my physical, and I knew it, so I wasn't like able to throw as big as I could. But now my physical is big as well. So now challenges I'm looking at, I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Good,
within like 15 minutes, like with that thing, I was comfortable to do it and overshoot it, and like if I bailed it, I could save it.
Turned out it was really small, so
Yeah, and you did as well.
That article is the best fucking thing. It's so good.
Yeah.
That they're the only things I've ever really read is Lord of the Rings and Callum's Tip 300.
Cool. You're a smart guy.
Callum is the Tolkien in your eyes.
Going back to what you were saying about like not thinking you could do something and then suddenly being able to do it. I literally said I'd never double roundabout.
Did you?
Yeah, I just told myself I'll probably never do it because it's just like so super scary. And now it's just like so calm, like it's just like the calmest thing in the world. And I've done like bare other double congs that are way harder. And now
it's such a cool
it's
feeling.
so weird.
But it just, I don't know, it just creeps up on you. All of that stuff.
Coffee.
I like with like free running. If you think about it, most people who start it aren't exactly like what you'd call like athletic.
No.
Yeah. That's why it's so good. Like pretty much anyone can get into it as long as you like commit to it. Because like at the beginning it's so massively like mental. Because I remember like going back to the beginning of what we were saying is like remembering not being shit. I remember us not being able to jump that wall at the Priory School, which is I shit you not about 30 centimetres and about a metre up, and it was fucking so scary, and we actually got off the wall and went home. It's so bad. But I think if you like, you just have to drill it, like just keep at it, because it's so massively mental. Like physical side doesn't really matter too much, to be honest, to begin with. Now everyone's at this stage where they're really good, and then you can start like banging out the weights and stuff to really like improve. But if you start chucking stuff and like, let's say you're athletic, like I was athletic and I could like chuck stuff, but I wasn't like very good because I didn't do it enough. So like everyone is like drilling it loads, and now they're at a good stage. Gym, now they're powerful technique. It's like
I think it's
a
like,
beautiful thing.
It is cool. It's so cool.
It's
to just like look back at it and be like, we were there, now we're here, and, like breaking those challenges down. I can remember you did some like stupidly big jumps. I don't think anyone else has done the jump by Sainsbury's yet.
Royce has.
Yeah,
Royce also
Royce
did the
is
standing
big.
cat to the pole the other way.
Oh, cut that out, yeah.
Or insert the clip.
Yeah, I'll insert the clip. That'll be way better.
Oh, that's too much effort.
Um,
I've got to go on his Instagram. I've got to download that.
Going back to what you was just saying, to like when you start out, it's like a lot more mental. That's like even if you like start out and you're not like physically the strongest guy, you because of the mental side, you can just keep like building up and like doing challenges that are mentally scary, and then eventually that builds your physicality anyway. So like just by doing like step vaults and like speed vaults and like practicing all those like less physically daunting moves, you can then become more physically strong and slowly get to like a point where like you are strong enough to do all the harder shit as well.
I shit you not, 90% of the people that start free running are puss boys.
Yeah. Puss boys.
And then you see them years later and you can't make fun of them anymore.
They're massive.
They're fucking really sick. Like Chris, I used to make fun of him because he's ugly and small.
I was about to say in school
he's still small, but he's big and he's got a new haircut and he's actually fucking sick. Like
he was ugly and small.
I mean, it's just a testament. I was just like I was just a spack boy at school. Who couldn't I wasn't good at football. Wasn't good at any sport at school.
cargo shorts.
John.
Cargo shorts, repping since day one.
Oh,
DC shoes.
Who's it? John. There's a guy called John Hall, or nicknamed Hedge, from Access Parkour up in Edinburgh, and I was talking to him about all of this, and he said he did like a demographic thing, or someone had done a demographic of parkour practitioners, and it was most of them are white white young adult males, but they also most of us are massive nerds. And we're outcasty from like all the other sports. We're crap at everything else, and we like comic books and we like anime and Dungeons and Dragons. And you'll be surprised that like
nerd.
All of us lot watch anime continuously, or like play Dungeons and Dragons,
only
or
every day.
play COD like all the time, or something like that.
Smash Bros.
Or Smash Bros.
Smash Bros every day, boys.
Yeah.
Or like
you
were like ridiculously good at COD,
Dota.
wasn't it? Or Dota, yeah.
Dota.
So like
Fucking
Nick boy playing Dota.
So we're all like massive nerds to a ridiculous extent. But it is that. It's like for some reason
There's something about it that attracts, like, I don't want to say losers, but honestly, a lot of people have
It's
very
not-
bad social skills.
On paper, it's quite an uncool sport.
I
isn't it?
fucking disagree.
I
On
disagree.
paper.
I
Double
disagree.
Kong on paper is the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
If you say 20, lucky, I'm 23. If I said to someone that I'm a 23-year-old and I jump on walls, you'd be like, that guy's a virgin.
Yeah, but if you say like I'm 23, I do a front flip to a wall this big and then front out, or like I do a front flip to a wall and then like Rudy out, or I do a thing where I run up to a wall, put my hands down, fly for a second, and then put my hands back down again.
Granted,
That sounds cooler than being like I was on a scooter.
I have
and
this
pushed.
I have this conversation with my girlfriend's like parents' friends. Like they all like they have like a group.
Yeah.
And like we go around like have barbecues and stuff. And they're like when I at first like introduced myself, they're like, so what do you do? I'm like, yeah, I'm 23, I coach parkour. You know, like just jump on walls every day. And they just looked at me like, you're an idiot. And then like they're like, oh, can you show me some of your stuff? And they're just like, what the fuck? Like, and my mate's dad, Isaac, his dad Graham, like follows my Insta. And every single time I'm around, he's always like, this is the sickest thing. Like it's so cool. Once they like actually like realise what you do, it's really cool. But when you like tell them, you're like, oh yeah, I do parkour, they're like, that's a bit lame.
Yeah.
Mentally, you're like on a different level. Like you're kind of in tune with like your body so much more than the average person.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really weird. Like you get someone up to something you're doing. Let's say you just like fucking plied some massive shit, and you get someone up who's like just starting parkour up there. They're fucking shitting their pants, and they'll never be able to be like, I'm never going to do that. Ever.
Yeah.
They'll never be able to see it. Like it's just weird how the
Well,
body
weren't we
works.
saying? Yeah, and exactly the same. We were saying that there's a spot in Horsham, Candy Box, and probably like everyone have fucking seen it from like story videos and shit. But it's basically there's like a plyo down, and one of the walls, well, pretty much all of them to be fair, are quite high off the ground. There's like a normal width brick wall, drop on either side. One's a little higher than the other, and you're just standing on it. I remember we like.
It was the Alex Witchell.
Alex Witchell, yeah, and we were just saying like. It's weird how comfortable. It's no thought goes into standing up there. It's
No,
just
you just-
super comfortable.
Yeah, I remember that.
You just
Foot
stand
placement not an issue. You just stand there. You're comfortable. You film people. You know all that shit. I feel like if you got like someone who doesn't train on that wall, it would just be a.
Get someone to meet
And
you
you're
off the
getting
ground.
someone even up
They
there
shit
in the first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting someone up there, you can't climb up in the first place.
It's mental. It's so weird how like you go, oh yeah, we'll just like go over that fence, and then like obviously you're straight over, and then your mates who don't do parkour are just like,
The classic
How do I get
balls
over
between
it?
the fence
It's like,
movement.
well-
They're like, oh, stuck on the fence.
yeah, fuck for sure.
I was talking to Jess today, and showed her she's like seen it. I do one of the clips on Instagram. I do a side flip and I bail, like proper, like land on my side, like smack my thigh down. It's very
Insert
funny.
that clip here. It's fucking funny. As fuck.
It's very funny. But then when I was talking
Insert
about
swollen hip.
it, so fatty deposit. And when I did it, I went through the reason I like that bail is because I did it and I came out of it safe. I like got a bruise and I was up walking and I had to like climb down the ladder afterwards, and I was like, I'm not going to train, but I was fine. And then the next day or the day after I was training again. And then I was talking to Jess, and she was like, well, how did you not fall on your head? Because if you look at it, like I was going for it and I was in completely like I was about to do a roll on my head, but then like the instinct.
You can't roll on your head.
You can. It won't come out well.
If you
though.
do, you just fuck.
You'll die. And it was thinking like if I didn't do tuck, I would land on my head. And then instantly, just like out of doing side flips loads, I was like, just tuck and be okay. I tucked and then landed on my side, came out with a bruise instead of like a broken bone. And she was like, how the hell did you do that? In that, like, you had half a second to do it. And it's just one of those things that you do it enough and it's like comfortable, and it's that weird situation to be in.
Jaden Clark in Dom Tomato's newest like vlog slough video thing. Jaden's like swinging on the bar, like ready to do a big lache. He just and he comes back for like the backswing, just pings off the bar like horizontal. It's like he's easy gonna like rotate slightly and then go on his head, and he just does this like just literally like sees the ground. He's like, well, I'm gonna like he's like, well, fuck, just like tucks round the front and just like lands like with his hand like compressed like quite well onto his back. It's like the best like aerial awareness thing I've ever seen. It was literally like, oh, he's gonna get hurt, and it's just like, oh no, I'm not, I'm fine. Like he just saved it so well, and then, like there's like a little slow mo. You just see him like do it. He's like, right, front, just in case. Because like, was gonna land his head.
Mad.
A lot of it's muscle memory, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Training
absolutely.
stuff just like becomes instinctive if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was a hell of a bail, man. That was
Yeah, but when you filmed it, you're like,
Yeah,
get a little pop zoom,
shout out on the podcast.
and
Big
now
up
check if you're okay.
Yeah.
If you're not pop zooming people's instas, you're shit.
Yeah. Commitment.
Pop zoom the paint. It'll be done.
Could we like put the clip on, then have the zoom in with the pop that he just made?
Ping ping.
Yeah,
That went a little bit off topic, but that was fucking cool.
No, but it led towards like
Yeah.
a sort of cool
Should we get back
direction.
to we kind of touched upon preps, didn't we? A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that sort of thing with like when we're like talking about what's the like thing I was going to say.
I assume this is going to be cut.
We ended up talking about the mental game of people who don't do parkour, and that sort of ties into prepping of people who do parkour.
Yeah.
Mental game, just train loads. I reckon train your mental before your physical, or like not before, at the same time, but personally do mental more, but know that you shouldn't throw big things because physically you're not there.
Can you talk through your mental prep, your preparation for a jump, for a scary jump? Because you hinted at it earlier, and I love yours as well.
Mine changes per.
I don't know. Back in the day, I would sit there for as long as it took, and I would do that, like focus on one thing. But I'd be content with it. Like if I didn't make it, I'd be like, okay, it's okay. I didn't make it. But I can remember doing a rail to rail running pre, and I sat there for about an hour, just like walking up to it, prepping it, doing it. But I also get mad tunnel vision. Like people try and talk to me while I'm about to do a prep, and some of the time I'll almost like completely ignore them, or be like, and like try and kill the conversation because I'm trying to do something. So it's like back then, or like when I was really training that, I'd just be by myself almost. I just wouldn't talk to people or like try and keep it to a minimum. And I went through a stage of like telling people like stop being a bitch and do it, because I thought that was like really cool.
I do say that,
but that didn't really work.
It's like the send it thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that was like
that
a
big
send
for a
it
while.
thing. But then it yeah, I don't know. I just like you said, I like train alone, but in the group, if I've got like a mental challenge, I'll sit there and like look at it and prep it and think about
Yeah,
all
but
the
how do
fails
you
and
prep it?
stuff.
Like what sort of thing? Like what sort of things make it more comfortable for you?
I visualize it a lot. If I can't physically see myself doing it in my head, then I'm not going to do it. Then I can't do it. So I'll sit there, like, I will sit there and people come up to me like, oh, are you okay? Like, so I've got my eyes closed. I'm just like, no, I'm just like thinking or whatever. And I'll think about a first person shot of me doing the running pre. And if I can't picture myself doing that, then I can't do it and I won't do it. But if I can, I then think about like what would it look like from another person's perspective, and for some reason that gives me clarity that I can do it because I can see myself doing it like visually, and then from there it just becomes like a 3, 2, 1 go kind of like. It does become almost that send it, but controlled send it. So because if I can't see myself doing it, then I can't. Like going back to when you're younger and you see these massive plyos or these massive like running pre's or something, if you can't see it, you sit there and you're like, I can't do this. This is like, I'll never be able to do this.
Yeah.
And then like as soon as I can see myself doing it, I'll do it. And then I go into tunnel vision. I'll block out everyone. Or, like the public will be there, and I'll be like, make sure I'm not going to hit them, but I'll just be looking at that, just thinking about that, and then.
I know exactly.
That's why I
what
don't
you
train
mean.
jams.
I know exactly what you mean about the seeing it sort of thing, but mine doesn't come from just sitting there and thinking about it. I can't I have to like prep it, and then like because the prep help like doing like the jump to the side or like doing like something to like make sure like you're gonna land it okay. That's what like does it for me. It's like I'll like jump to the side of it. I'm like, oh yeah, that like if I just do that, it's done. And then it's like, oh, I see it. Okay.
You've got a cool contract with yourself though. I really rate that.
They're all varied. It's hard to explain, but I'm just very weird. No, in terms of contract stuff, that's more like so for certain types of jumps like standing pre's, if I've done it before, I'm not allowed to prep it. You just have to do it, and then worst case I'll bounce it, because in theory, based on the way I train, including like the weight training and stuff, my standing pre shouldn't decrease. And so if I go to one I've done before, there is no way I should do it at a degree where it's dangerous.
Yeah.
If I'm constantly increasing, which I should be, based on the amount of train and the amount of like weight training I do based like on the side, like I should only in theory be going up or staying at the same point
Or plateauing.
and so there's no reason not to do a standing pre I've done before. So even if it's like terrible, like weight throws for example is like quite scary, but I will never not go for it now. I will never jump into the middle ever again. I'll just go to it because I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And it's with certain tricks I have that as well. With certain like so corks, at the moment I'm doing like one a day, and it's like I'm not allowed to prep the like takeoff. Like you know when like people like do like a little step and then like they swing and they like don't actually go for a cork. Not allowed. Got to just do the cork first try, because otherwise it's sort of like I feel like if I prep it too many times I like get too many niggly things in my head and it just like sort of overwhelms me with the technique, and then I sort of like focus on the wrong thing. Whereas if I just go for it with knowing I can cork, like I've done like 1 million corks now, and like I just know I can cork and I know the technique will always be fine, and so if I just go for it without thinking, it happens, muscle memory, bang, done, and there's like never a problem. Whereas when I just spend ages like drilling it, like trying to get the technique perfect, I just fuck it up and I just like hate him. So
having that trust in yourself is so valuable.
Yeah.
It really is.
Really
and I think
important.
there's also a lot to be said for, I mean, firstly, not overthinking things, as you say, just going in and just rolling with it, whatever. If there's, for example, or the setup for a scoot, or a cork even, as you're saying, as a cork, getting that swing right, even if you get it slightly wrong, chances are the cork's going to be fine.
I mean, I've
you
kicked
can
the floor
perfect
before in
stuff.
cork.
Yeah, exactly.
I've literally like toed the floor and then still like been,
And I was
like,
watching-
like still one of my like fine cork. Like,
I was
perfectly
watching
fine.
Ross Allen do something on his Instagram, and he did an inward side off a bar,
Yeah,
like the side of a
okay.
swing, and his foot. I think it didn't miss altogether. I think he
Nah,
clipped his
it
toes
pinged
maybe,
off.
and it pinged out.
Yeah.
And he still rotated, and I don't think he landed it, but he got all the way around safely.
He landed back on the bar. But
Yeah, but rotation wise, like
no, yeah,
you'd
it's
expect-
way better
it's
than
crazy.
not rotating and just going flat on the neck.
Exactly,
He literally
exactly.
basically did the side flip, but like because of the way, like because of the fact that he slipped, he was going more towards the swing set like bar, and so he just like hit his like side on the bar.
yeah, that's it. But what I'm saying is, you can get the setup so wrong, and
Yeah, and
And
just be
obviously
fine.
this isn't a blanket statement, but for so much stuff you can just be fine.
Yeah.
You'll still be safe.
Yeah.
I'm very guilty of trying to get everything perfect before I get something, you know. That's why it's
Yeah.
hard for me to like just be like, sweet, I'm gonna commit without even like looking at the setup or I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
it is. I like to make sure
you
everything's-
like. I think it's kind of cool that you're always like looking at all the like external factors. I just like never look at them, and you're like, oh, this bit's a bit like today with the thing, like with the Kong splat. You like put a carpet over when you did it because like that bit was too slippy. Where it's like I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh, well, I'll just run here and like Kong there, and I'll be fine. I didn't really like think too much about the takeoff. I was just like,
I think it does come to a point. There gets to a point where it's like just do. And you can over prep
definitely,
it
yeah.
so much. Like that's what I've recently been doing.
over
I've been
prepping's so easy.
like with the pre, and it's like I'm here, I can do it. I've seen myself do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just get over it
And
and
the
do it.
last year of like doing free running for me, I had to find a way of like committing to things because like, I hadn't been training so much, so I literally just used to punch myself in the face.
I remember that.
And because I knew I trained enough mentally for like free running. I can like do that now. So I punch myself in the face and it gets me a little bit angry.
That's definitely not a good way of
progressively
doing
make
it.
yourself more
it
annoyed
won't
until
work
you're
for-
annoyed enough to go for it.
Yeah. And I just go, oh, and then I just send it, and it usually.
That's like Dragon Ball Z
Also,
kind of training.
I think if Sydney Olsen was standing there, would I want to bounce it in front of her?
Yeah.
If you don't watch Sydney Olsen's vlogs, you really should. She's a lovely lady.
DennisRapsonovich.fu if you're watching Sydney. Send me a DM, please.
She grafts so
She
hard.
really
It's really
does.
hard.
Yeah. She's
Like daily.
She's
yeah,
fucking
for real,
good.
for real. Yeah.
Feels like some mad stuff.
Committed athlete.
Committed to the
Very,
go.
very
I
committed.
like how I switched the subject there instantly
did.
by being a fucking silly cunt.
But moving back towards the mental like prepping side of things,
It's down. It's empty.
yeah. So I don't really think about like the taking off and not the taking off. I always think about the taking off. I don't think about like I'd say I miss certain things that you pick on, or like you're very specific. So like you'll see something like that little thing is annoying, and I'll just be like, that's something that I won't concentrate on because I know that it won't affect, like, might not affect it in like the biggest way, or for me anyway, it won't affect it in the biggest way. But then obviously, if you feel like it might, then it's probably a good reason to check it out. I don't really know.
I do wonder sometimes if. I mean, I don't know if I wasn't so picky and so cautious. I wonder if I'd progress faster.
Yes.
But
watching you train.
But I've also not. I mean, fingers crossed. I haven't really had or touch wood, whatever the fuck it is. I haven't really had like bad injuries.
I think
there's some wood for
having having trained with you for so long, I think you get to a point where you could do it, but you'll keep going for an extra 25-50%, and you don't need that. And like you've looked at every variable enough that you wouldn't hurt yourself. I think it's like you're over prepping it.
Yeah, I'm 100% guilty of that. And I'm the last like 2 or 3 months I've put like a real effort towards like reducing that. And
it's shown.
Yeah.
It has been shown.
Part of it is I've also, you were saying about your contracts with yourself, I've kind of got I've not told him about this, is going to be fucking lame.
Is this a 50-unit podcast first?
Yeah, it's just a little thing that helps me, and it's like a commitment thing. I think someone said to me, I feel like it was you, that it's like something about committing. Not on the Kong. You don't commit on the Kong. You commit on the run up.
On the first step.
Yeah.
And that's not something. I mean, this was like what 5-6 months ago, something like quite a long time ago. But that's not something I'd previously really thought about.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
honestly,
what it's always been to me.
Yeah.
It's literally like that first step. You're going. If you're not going on that first step, you're not fucking going. Like you're not going to do it.
So what I've got now is I've got this like. I've over the years have had many bad habits of like shoe wipes, of like doing breaths, of doing like just weird shit. I'm like, cool, now I'm ready, now I'll go, getting everything perfect. And I'm making sure my shirt's all in the right place. Fuck all that. It's so like I'm so like susceptible to doing stuff like that. But now I'm just trying to do like, I feel like I'm set. There's no like thought. Once I've been through the whole process and I've almost like ticked things off, so it's like logically in my head. Take off, fine. Landing's fine. Everything's safe. Everything, you know, when I've gone through that entire process, I'm like, cool, I'm happy. I try and almost just like leave that in my mind and just then be like present. So I'm not like worrying about anything else. It's just like, that's done, sweet. Now it says all it is just start committing. And it's just like a breath and a go and bang. That's it. And and it's working. It's like, it's been like a real like effort to the change.
Oh,
because those habits, man, they're fucking ruthless. The shoe wipe stuff, like, oh my god.
Remember you used to do the little stutter step whenever you...
Yeah, and that, stutter steps.
He still does.
Little pigeon steps.
Just a little prick. Yeah. He did that in Slough. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Shame that.
Alright.
Yeah. There we are.
No, it's getting better. Your lists are paying off.
Yeah,
slowly.
Get comfortable throwing maxes. That's an important one as well. If you want to progress at all, get comfortable throwing your max.
Bounce that shit.
Be okay with bouncing.
Shit, you're just gonna you're just gonna like when you actually bounce something, you're never gonna be like able to do it. Like something that I do, like if I'm ever training inside at a gym where it's like super comfortable and like there's no real like you feel like because you're in a gym, you feel like there's no real risk of getting hurt. So you just sort of like well that's if you train outside. If you only train inside, you're probably a little bitch. But if you train outside, you know the real shit. You know that it's really fucking scary.
You know the real shit.
And then you go inside like this ain't scary. It's all soft and shit. So that's when I'm like always maxing. It's like right, I'll do my max pre. I'll do my max running pre. Like I'm just like because that way it's like even if you bounce it, you're not like you just know you'll be okay. And then by training that, when you go outside, if you bounce something outside, you've got that muscle memory of bouncing shit and like how to take a not so great landing. And like be fine, because I feel like a lot of people like don't bounce them or like aren't capable of going for their max because they're not comfortable bouncing shit.
That's why I like the gym so much. Like it's just a great place to practice, but to practice to go outside. If you just keep it in the gym the whole time, you're a weirdo. You're not gonna progress mentally ever because it's not like the real thing. It's
if you've never stuck a pre to a wall outside, you've never known true satisfaction. Just put it out.
Apply our concrete.
Anything. It doesn't matter what it. I think running pre's actually have like if you stick running pre the best.
Sticking running pre is that feels
because the momentum. Yeah, don't you think that one? Fucking hell. Because the momentum like coming into them is like so like you have way more, so it just feels like you either float it or you like come into it nicely and then like roll. roll on.
Yeah.
I think concrete sticks can be pretty nice. Plyo sticks can be. To be fair, all sticks are fucking sick. I can't lie.
Standing priest.
Yeah, a good standing pre really gets me going.
Yeah. You'll realise that your penis can produce semen and you can with a standing priest stick.
It's got to be said, I've got a complete boner for parkour, so like even watching it, like, just gets me going.
How sick is it watching your mates do stuff as well? That's even
Oh,
better.
isn't it? Yeah,
That's
it's
even
fucking
better.
cool. It's watching your mate bang like the sickest concrete and just all that eddy
Yeah.
just like stick, bing, toes.
Too good.
I think
Too
also
good.
like something really cool to watch is watching your mate like break, like watching like one of you guys like break something down and like go through a whole fucking long process and then you get it and you're like, and like I've filmed it, I'm like, yes. It's fucking sick. It's so cool.
It is.
It's a privilege to watch, I think, actually, isn't it, as well? It's like,
Yeah,
because
I
that
think
is when...
That was both simultaneously like really sweet and really gay.
What?
It's a privilege to watch you train.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Wait,
that's
no,
someone who,
no.
like, you're, like, so exposed and so, like, that's just, like...
Yeah, I know.
your
I know
fears
exactly
and
what you
everything
mean.
is just, like, on display. Here's what is fucking me up about this jump.
I feel like that's like a
Yeah,
hug,
I
hug
don't
it
know,
out,
like... Yeah,
But it's
no,
what-
you're absolutely right.
But also, I just think like watching someone break something down. It's just like watching them be like, right, this is okay, this bit's okay, that bit's okay, I'm gonna be fine, and then they just do it. I think that's like the sickest. I don't know. I just like I'd love to see more of that shit. Like no one, you don't really see it. Like if
More
I think-
BTSs.
yeah, more BTS shit and like
As Motus, Keelan and Giles talking about their podcast,
Yeah.
more BTS.
well, just like
that stuff's
fucking
cool.
behind the jumps.
Yeah,
Were the
more
fucking
of that.
sickest thing in the world, and it's so. I think the best part is the fact that you can see people do stuff differently. So like
okay.
watching Luke do the double down at IMAX, completely different to like how I did it. I'd say anyway, in my personal opinion. He just like he did like the standing dive. There was no way I was doing the
Well, it's
standing
like-
dive. It's gross. It's fucking
Well,
gross.
it's like
as fuck.
is it Remy Gillard or Gillard or however you say his surname? He like
Yeah,
screams at himself, like ah!
Yeah, that's
and then
weird,
goes
though.
for it. Like
That's
if that's your
weird as
process, all right, might not be
Yeah.
the best process.
Punching yourself in the face.
well. Process to get
Yes,
yourself
maybe.
clapped.
Acquired taste, isn't it? Really? If you're a certain kind of person. That's why it's good to train with other people, really, because you see like a different like perspective of
Yeah, totally.
how people break things down, and also you see different challenges, shit like that. So it's good to like go around the country or whatever, just meeting different weird people, even if they're like weird inbred French
Yeah,
people.
as long as that,
Weird inbred French people.
just to clarify,
Shout out Marseille, by the way.
anyone we know who's French, you're not weird or inbred. Dennis is just a dick. But yeah, it's also fucking. I think it's like contrast per like person. So like me and Finn are like total opposites. Like he's like saying how he gets tunnel vision, like won't talk to anybody. I'm very like logical. So if someone else is like confident that I like, if I like ask like James is my brother who I've been like training with for fucking however many years, like the same amount of time I've been training. He's basically been training with James, and so he knows my ability almost as well as I do. And so if I say to him, what do you think? Like I've like prepped it and I think I can do it, but I'm like still got a little thing, and then I say, what do you think? And he turns around and says, you got it. That is the final thing. I'm like, right, cool, I'll do it then.
I used to solo train quite a bit. I think that's the difference as well.
I mean, I
'Cause I was
solo
like-
train.
Yeah, but I'm like only child, all that stuff. So I was like, and I lived quite further away than all you guys. So like, I used to solo train in Reigate quite a bit. I think that helped me.
I have no friends.
Yeah. All right. Look, I don't. But I think that definitely helped me with my mental stuff. That's why I
Yeah.
train alone in a group, because
That's true.
it's I've had all of that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't need someone to tell me I can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've had plenty of people tell me I can't do stuff, and then I do it because they can fuck off.
Yeah. It just needs to be someone that you trust will say,
Yeah.
no, man, I don't think you've got it.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that's
especially
fucking-
when there's some sort of risk involved. You need someone that's going to be like, I think this is...
It's like, when was it the other day? We were like doing something, and you were just like, "Oh, I'm not sure." You said to me you weren't sure if I'd do it, and I was like, "Okay, well that's another like weird little thing." That's like, I think it was that running period, the fucking high takeoff, the one that Finn did, because Finn's got long.
Yeah, and your preps would go like one
yeah, and
prep
it was
was
just
like, "Fuck,
wavering
that was
so
it," and then
much.
one was like,
yeah, and it was like, it's just so unsure.
I think a good example.
The one you did was
like,
Costa.
Go on. Like, the good example is training with someone you trust. Like, if someone's getting fucking really annoyed at the jump, your like perception of like what you're doing goes way out the window. Like, have you ever like played a game and got really angry and then you start getting really shit like really quickly because you're just like not thinking at all. Like, you're just thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna absolutely throw this now. Like, I'm pissed to fuck. Like, that's when you like hurt yourself and shit. Like, you fucking broke your fucking toe off because you were angry or something. And you're like, I did this fucking yesterday, and then you fucking you like broke your fucking toe. So you fucked off and threw your shoe at the wall. Yeah. What was it? It was something to do with toe. You like chipped your bone.
Nah, that was a different jump. So that was when the slab wasn't connected. That fell on my foot. Yeah. This is like striding Halifax. I like strode, and then like one foot there, like one foot like pinged off, and I went like that way.
That was a mega ping.
Like,
it was madness.
Pulled the ligaments and shit in my ankle.
God, it's a true friend that'd be like, you need to not do this. You're not in the right mindset. That's a true friend right there.
Yeah, but that's scary. When someone's angry, you're like, yo, bro, and they're like, don't talk to me.
The other thing is, I'd probably just tell you, like, I'd be like, no, I'm going to do it. Like, if someone said it to me, like, the thing is, I get, like, when I get frustrated, the thing is, people, like, I think I get mistaken a lot for, like, anger as opposed to frustration. I just get, like, frustrated, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, why, like, when I'm throwing the shoe at the wall because I'm injured, that's, like, genuine anger, because I'm like, oh, why have I injured myself? But when I'm just like, oh, why can't I do this? It's not like I'm not angry. I'm just frustrated at like myself because I'm like letting myself down. And then like all I need to do is just get that one thing. And then when I get that one thing, I'm totally fine. Like, it's just like back to normal, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will have like little outbursts, but like I think not doing it makes me like way worse. If I like went home at like in that like frustrated, I'd just be like, well, that's like, well, fuck, like it just throws my like whole thing out the window. Whereas like if I get frustrated, I'm like, right, well, I've done it, it's all good, like calm. But like the difference is like when I'm going for the like most of the time when I'm going for the jump, like if I'm frustrated, that won't be in my like I don't know, well, like I'm totally like before I go for a jump, I'm like totally like zoned out. I don't really like know it, like I don't really think about anything. So the frustration it just isn't really there when I'm going for the jump. It's only there in between the doing that failing and then going back. That's like I'm frustrated then, but then when I'm like staring at the wall ready to run, I'm like just not really thinking anymore. I'm like, right, jump, done.
I have a real tough time getting in and out of that zone. Like when you're in that, like, it's almost meditative, isn't it? When you're in that zone, it's just nothing fucking matters. You're like solely focused on that thing, which is so sick. It's such a nice feeling. But I have a real tough time if, for example, it's been a few times, even recently, I've had members of the public come up and just like say some shit, especially if it's like, oh, you're gonna break your bones or something. That fucks me so much. Like when I'm out, I find it very hard to get back into that zone and to like flush all that out of the way.
Yeah,
it's so bad when you see someone. I can tell when we were at Halifax and you were thinking about the plyos, and that woman came back twice to talk to you. It was. I saw her walk back and I couldn't help but laugh.
No, it just went off. Spare battery time. Anyway, where were we? Let's pick it up from.
You were talking about how you feel like you can't like get back in the zone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's heightened when, again, for an example, if someone from the pub, I mean, none of us are going to bring up like, oh, don't break your bone. You know what I mean? Like, no one's going to be like that. But if someone comes up and it's like, should I ring the ambulance now? There's some bullshit comment that you hear so much.
Hard.
That is instant. I just get like flooded with images of like what can go wrong. Stuff that haven't even like crossed my mind. But as soon as that's there, it's just like, fuck.
That's the one. Don't quit your day job.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah.
Never gonna make it.
Can't quit being fucking ugly though, can you?
Get backstage.
Speaking about that, I think I've told you before. I always like stand like ready for the jump, and I'm always just like thinking what could go wrong. I literally I'm like, oh, I could break my ankle here, and then I just like, and then I'll go. Really weird little thing. So look, I think that's like a personal thing. I don't know why. It's literally like just before. It's like I'll be like right, and like, I'll say ready, and then you'll be like ready, like filming or like say we're filming something. Like obviously I don't film everything, but say you're filming something, and I'll be like ready, and you'll be like yeah ready filming, and then I'll literally think could break my ankle, and then I'll just go.
Bro.
See, I'm similar. I won't think that, but I'll think that shit can go wrong. I'm under no mistake or like no like misguided view that if I cock this side flip up, I'm going to very much hurt myself. But I use that as a don't do that, then work out the variables and then go. That's like visualize myself doing it, Like I'll visualize it and I'll be like, oh, I could crane this and do what Dylan did and smash my knee up. You can do that.
Fuck that.
But I'll sit there and be like, that could be doing that. Let's avoid it and then just work around it.
Yeah, but mine's like, so like literally, I'd say like this, like so, split seconds before I'm going. So going to like do the jump, you know what I mean? Like, but like I don't know what it is. I don't know, but like I think that's more to do with like my brain's like jumping about, like ADHD sort of thing, and I'm just like thinking about all the little things, and then I'm like, right, time to go. And like, oh, I could break my ankle, right, going, and then like, but when I'm going, like I won't be thinking about anything. So like but like I said, I start with the run. Like as soon as I'm running, that's part of the thing. That's like I'm going. So like I wouldn't get to like the 2 steps like of the before the Kong, and then be like, oh, I could break my ankle. It would be like, could break my ankle. Then I'll start running, and I won't be thinking about anything. I'll just calm.
But at least you know. At least you know what can go wrong. You know the dangers because you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I've never broken a bone except for my toe.
It's better to know the dangers than not know the dangers.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I
rubbish.
don't know them. Like, I mean, I think it's hard to talk about something like this without bringing up something when there's high risk involved, like a descent or like a roof gap or something like that. I'm not saying I'm like oblivious to the fact that something could happen. I know the risks, but I don't. I don't feel like I need to be like, oh, but what if my, if my foot doesn't go hit the right bit of the ground? It's I don't need to visualize all the little bits and pieces.
I don't do it on purpose. It's just like
happens.
It just I'll just be standing there and I'll be like, oh, what if my ankle breaks? And that'll be it, and then I'll go. But like it's not like oh, I need to do this because my ankle might break if I don't. It's just like oh, what if my ankle breaks now? And then that's it. But it doesn't because I'm fucking sick. So.
So far, all you said is we're all shit and you're really good.
It's because it's the truth.
That is a trait of people with ADHD. They're pretty bad with social skills.
I mean, if you've ever met me, you probably know I'm fucking bad with social skills. I mean, if we go to a jam, I will literally part everyone off and just train instead because I don't really want to socialise when if we're at a spot, I'm not there to talk.
That's for in between spots. That's for the walking.
Exactly. That's for the walking.
Talking is for walking.
Or the podcast, like. But yeah, I think we covered quite a few like bases with the whole mental thing and like. And hopefully we hit like the nail on the head for my man them on the Instagram asking about how we progressed and how we started and all that shit. I hope that helped you at all. But now we're gonna get to our end segment, and to vary it up, because last week we did underrated athletes. This week we're all gonna share a video that we think people either didn't acknowledge at the time or we just think people should definitely be watching all the time. And we're gonna start with my man Marcus Dell on the mic to my right.
I was hoping you'd like go to someone first so I could decide. This is like I'd sometimes do this in restaurants. I'll have like 2 things that I want to order, and then it's only the pressure of the waitress. It's like, what do you want? I'm like, oh, I want spaghetti.
You're so weird. You're so indecisive.
So that's what's going to happen here. My underrated video is going to... Oh, fuck, I'm undecided.
Do you want me to go?
I have 2. Wait. Yeah, you go.
Okay, mine's Eric Moore's Parkour and Other Stuff. 1 and 2. I'm cheating. But it's part of the series. I didn't realise this. On YouTube, Parkour and Other Stuff 2 has 1.6 thousand views. That's
really
it. Yeah. And Parkour and Other Stuff has 2.8. That's it. I think they are 2 of the most underrated videos ever. A bit of it's from Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's not all from Instagram, but the songs are sick, and he just moves really well. He's done some like weird connective lines and weird lines that are like power challenges, and I can't remember if it was in that video. I haven't seen it in a while, but he's one of those people that just pops out weird stuff out of nowhere. Like he was doing that plyo line and then did that monkey down out of nowhere, and it was like everyone freaked out because it was just like 2 of the most underrated. There's got under 5,000 views collectively. That shouldn't be on. It's either when you train him as well. Like you'll just be training, and then next thing you know, he'll just do the sickest thing out of the blue. It's fucking weird. That needs more views.
When we're at Alleyway, and and he just randomly did the cast that cast pre thing. So like.
Oh, is this Joe we're talking about? Sorry.
No.
Yeah, pamphlet.
Nah, the pamphlet, but also on the the stand 180 at Alleyway.
Oh,
he just cast Cast pre.
Yeah,
Like not as in cast away pre, as in like, you know, the cast where you flick your legs up and then go backwards. That's called a cast for anyone.
Yeah, that was cool as fuck.
That's why it's called
But
cast away.
Underrated video.
Yeah.
Technically 2, but
Big up Eric Moore.
ridiculous.
Bad man.
Okay, well mine's this is
Stop playing with the bed
underrated.
to test the video.
I'm nervous and I do shit. No. Anyway, mine's not. I think it's a video that got quite a lot of recognition from the community, and I think they continue to get quite a lot of recognition. But it's Marrero Gang. I'm like slightly coming at a different angle of when you said let's do an underrated video each. Mine is one that I didn't really clock. Was fucking sick. New Phone Who Dis, Marrero Gang.
That's a classic.
It's fucking sick, right? But I hadn't fully like clocked that. I mean, obviously I realised they wrote the song, but just the whole concept is so sick. It's them, they've written a song, they've rapped over it, they've basically made like a little like music video in their bedrooms or whatever. Gone and shot a parkour video. It's all like one fucking thing. It's so cool. It's testament to Marrero Gang always making cool shit. New stuff, you know what I mean? Like just like pushing
doing
boundaries
weird, experimental,
all the time.
cool shit right now.
And I know like everyone knows who they are. They are big, but like
in the
they
UK,
are.
I wouldn't say internationally. Like when we went to Fort Lawn, we were like, I was talking to Sophia or someone. Was like, oh yeah, you know, Marrero Gang. They're like, who?
Yeah.
I was like the tees that was everyone was wearing, the blue tees back when that. No, they're only in England, I'd say. Are they like
maybe
big. They need more recognition.
Yeah, I mean they're a crazy good team. I mean, athlete wise, they're sick. I mean, they have it all. They really do. But that's my decision. That's my contribution, just purely because it's like I didn't realise until quite recently. I think when we watched it at Dylan's maybe on the first
Dylan's
podcast.
been like, on that video.
Yeah, in it. And we watched it one
loves
afternoon. I was like, "Fuck, man, they're just killing it," and they always do, honestly.
More stuff like that.
And their
More
new
stuff
shirts, man. Their new
trackies as well.
Oh, the trousers.
The trackies.
And they're in black
Yeah.
and navy.
Yeah, I know.
The navy ones are so sick, but then obviously black is just fucking.
Anyway, Ben.
Yeah, Marrero
Video.
to win.
Underrated video.
Actually.
Yeah, I'm cheating as well, and I'm just gonna say anything made by the TryHard Collective. Mainly just like from English like free running point of view, no one moves like they do like from here.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of movement completely, like, and it's some of the things they do. I'm just like, I cannot do that. Sorry. Just they're so such slanky guys, aren't they?
On that note, it's the fucking Missoula video when they go to Fool's Jam, and Lieb does the like side into the rail, side over the rail, like that like rail spot in Missoula, cart, and then like he does like the fucking thingy late fool. It's just the sickest thing. It's like the slow mo. Like honestly, my favourite bit in any video. It's just so fucking sick.
It is very good.
The combination of those fucking boys and then Paulus shooting it is just
too good.
It's so good. It's
That's just
so
like,
good.
very like effortless, and it is very stoner as well, isn't it?
It is so stoner.
Just a tad.
And it kind of reflects well on their personalities because they do look like they smoke a lot of weed. And I've seen them smoke weed. So.
Oh, if you boys are watching this, we're gonna come to America sometime because we need to see you again. Because I miss you.
Yeah.
And summer was possibly the best time of my life last year when you were here.
Don't miss how you smelt though.
Got him.
Go, Chris.
Alright, so my video is it's called it's got a long title. It's a Brewman video for all you fellas. Average day's training of a Brewman, brackets, life for a fisheye. It was 2 years ago. It's only got 8k views to be fair. And it's just fucking insanely cool. Like, it's like, you know how we sort of do like old school vibe with like the handicap. It's literally one of them, but like 2 years ago before like anyone was really doing it. And it's just fucking like got that like old school skater vibe, and it's like got some like hip hop track behind it. It's just fucking sick, and it's just like it's all shot in one day. It's just like a whole day thing. It's fucking sick. It's
and
like,
they throw
just like, it's like sick shit as well. Like Kong fronting roundabout, and just like big Kong prees and shit. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. I'm trying to think. Do you remember Jack Milnes did that video called? I think it was just called Fisheye Parkour.
Yeah.
And when that came out,
yeah.
was that?
That was probably last year or the year before.
Was it? Yeah. I wondered if I remember. Yeah, that was a sick video as well.
Yeah, that was a cool video.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
those are our videos. You should watch them because we know what we're talking about, and all we do is watch fucking parkour videos. So obviously we're right.
We'll try to remember to link things in the description this time round.
He says we.
Me.
He didn't remember.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to link things in the description.
Special mention, Elite Shit Tape. No, coming soon.
Oh,
in cinema soon.
In cinema soon.
Yeah.
An unfinished masterpiece is what it is. That's art for you.
One day we finish.
We're done.
Yeah, I think we're out of here. So
Yes!
thank you for listening. I hope it was any fucking good, because we're just retards who just like to sit on a bed and talk about parkour all day.
Same old questions. You want to see anything? Speak about anything? Change anything? Stop doing them? Let us know.
If
That's okay too.
That's fine. I won't be upset.
If someone's too ugly for the podcast, just let us know and we'll fuck them up.
Too bald.
We'll
If
bald
you
and
want me to
beardy.
have my own segment on the show, just remember to comment down in the description.
Then it's called Dennis's Dipshits, and he's going to do all the bails that people do over the month.
That'd
That'd be sick. Like from all of your locations, you're just doing like 30 seconds. Like this guy's a twat. He's just like falling over. You're like in an Oreo face or something.
Oh, I tell you what was the sickest thing back in the day. Right, I'm going to start the podcast off again. Sickest thing back in the day.
Welcome to episode 3.
Store blog tracer of the month.
That was
There's
so
little videos.
good.
Store blog tracer of the month. They just had like Benj and Max's like faces just like shaking. That was so sick.
Yeah, that was class.
But yeah, go watch them because they were cool.
I don't know if you heard of them before.
What Stora?
Stora.
They're shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did.
fuck.
Fucking went
Um,
They have a copy of Storyblog.
Yeah. Is there shit
They got
posting?
way more subscribers than Storyblog now. That's well weird.
Yeah, innit? How is it they changed their name from Storyblog to Stora?
Story.
I mean, it's way
you
more.
can
YouTube channel
put
is still
Story on a
Storyblog.
shirt. Much easier.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's still Storyblog.
I'm going to need a fact check on that.
It's definitely Story.
Hold up.
Dennis is voting for definitely Stora. We've got 1 for definitely Stora.
I'm
Yeah,
going.
sorry, is this for YouTube?
I'm going Story. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Story in capitals with spaces in between the
Yeah,
letters.
Story. Yeah.
No spaces.
That's their Insta. I'm going for Stora. Just Stora on its own.
It is just
Their Insta,
Stora.
like on their Insta, they're like, you know, when you have the name in the the bio.
Oh
It's
right.
like spaces in
yeah,
between.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just Stora.
Well, there you have it.
How'd you do that? I thought you couldn't do that. I thought it was set in stone.
Something to do with
Well,
Google.
You should end this.
Yeah.
Now, I
Right, bye.
Yeah, done. Bye. See ya.
See ya.
Fuck
Have
off.
fun. Don't quit. Be safe, children.
That's
Have
gonna
fun.
be
Have fun though.
that's gonna be the
have fun.
outro. We're gonna pop zoom on you saying that.
Oh, I've got 3% battery. That's great.
Keep training.
Never give up.